Welcome to this lecture on mass and energy balances. This is level 2 out of 5, and my name is Nana, and I'm a process specialist with Horslev. And I will be the one to contact if you have any troubles regarding this. So the learning objectives for this level, it is to gain some knowledge of the available processes and machine combinations which are available in mass balances on SharePoint. It is getting to know the legwork that is needed together with the customer to find the right combination of machines and find the needed variables to fill into the mass balance. It is actually finding the relevant balance on SharePoint, the clues you'll find there of the machines they contain. And it is obtaining some basic understanding of the process flows which are the basis for the mass balances. So I'll just give you a short introduction. So if you saw level 1, you will know that the Horslev mass balances are actually just a very complicated way of saying that what goes into the process must actually at some point get out again. That is, if you have some solid content, for example, in your raw material, you will find it again in waste streams or in the product streams. So these spreadsheets are actually an excellent tool for getting to know the different possible processes, that be the stream composition, the product stream composition, or the energy usage if you have an evaporator in or not. And that's actually a good tool together with the customer to go through with this. So we actually have a variety of these processes available on SharePoint. But if you find there's a combination that you need and is not available, contact the process department and we will help you build it. So what do they actually cover? Well, we have a broad range of raw material going to this. Different species like cattle or pork, fish or poultry, and different fractions of the animal as they demand different processing. So you will have stuff like blood or bones, feathers, bristle, soft tissue called offal, going into the process at the customers. And we also have a variety of different processing possibilities. We have dry rendering, where you actually dehydrate your raw material to get out the fat, or you have wet rendering, where you add steam or boiling water, or have some raw material which in itself contain a lot of water, and there you get the fat out in a floating phase. Then there's some more special cases like hydrolysis of feather or bristle or blood coagulation. Then as for the fish, you should note that the balances are divided up into onshore factories and ship factories. Finally, we also have a somewhat special one in this concern, and that is dried distillers grains. You will see that there's actually a lot of combinations possible with these machines, and we will try to break it a bit down. There's also steps that are actually not included in the mass balances, and the reason for this is that they don't really add or subtract anything in the mass balance. So you will find that stuff like raw material bins, crushers, grinders, conveying without draining, that is not a part of the mass balance. We also operate at steady state, that is steady operation, no variation or in flows and energy demand, so we don't see any buffers in the system. Finally, stuff like condensers and thermal oxidizers are not within the mass balances as well, and that is a work in progress. So you might actually ask yourself, what is actually included then? And that's stuff like preheating, cooking, that can be standard fish cookers, milling tubes. We have some strainers and all the separation part with the presses, decanters, 3-phase decanters. And then we also have evaporation, concentration of stick water, drying and meal coolers. So when you look into these mass balances, you might find that some combinations that you need are not available. So please consult us and we will look into it and see if we can find another relevant process or if we can try to build it with you. You can find examples where you have a retrofit for the customer where it is actually needed to make a special mass balance. Some of the balances also contain a sizing sheet. It's very preliminary, mind you. So stuff like heating jackets are not included, and I would recommend, if you use this for the first time, to get hold of a more experienced user or contact the process department. I should also say that we operate with safety factors on stuff like the equipment sizing and energy demand. So if you find that you are sort of in between two machines, contact us and we will try to make the relevant choice for you or for the process at hand. We do not go into the power consumption of motors and pumps. We only address the steam demand. Other stuff that you should know is that we have no pricing included here, and we don't consider footprints. That is something you will have to do in advance before choosing the mass balance. And I should also say that we are not dictating standard process lines within Horslev with these mass balances. It's kind of historic what is available because sales needed it. So please choose the process line that is relevant for the customer and for Horslev as well. And if in doubt about this, please go to process and ask, because if we build something that is wrong in a mass balance, it will actually be built and be wrong outside in the factory at the customers. And that is actually a huge issue for both customer relations and for our margins. So please contact us if in any doubt.